Okay, can you hear me now? You can probably hear me now. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry for the delay. We had some things come up that I needed to work on and take care of. My body has been purging quite a bit for this full moon, so apologies for the delay, but we're here and we're ready. I had everything set up. I think I knew because everything was set up super duper early, which I usually don't do. So, happy Cancer full moon. It's so good to see everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. The full moon will actually be at 5:26 p.m. So during this live, we'll be experiencing the peak of this Cancer full moon. So what has been coming up for you? What has been happening over the last weekend? Because that is a highlight into what this full moon in Cancer wants to offer you. Now, this full moon is at 23 degrees. So it's at an Aquarian degree, which is, I think, pretty cool because we're getting ready to have Aquarius season beginning next Sunday. So we're being asked to release and purge and let things go in order to take the next step into our collective purpose, into our collective role, to break out of cycles, to break out of things that no longer serve you, to break out of thoughts, limitations, beliefs, and things that are going to help nurture you into this new year, into the age of Aquarius, into Aquarius season. Like I said, is happening and beginning next Sunday. So it's quickly approaching and quickly coming here. So the other thing to think about too is Mars is still in retrograde and it's in the sign of Cancer. So if you've been feeling a little lethargic, if you've been feeling a little sleepy over the weekend, having a hard time getting out of bed, partly because of the snow over here where I am currently located, the snow always makes me very sleepy. But with Mars being in retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which we're having this full moon in, we might be feeling the need to really slow down, which is what Mars in retrograde is asking us to do in the first place, to slow down and reconsider what actions are we taking or not taking that are helping us or not helping us to pursue and to create and nurture specifically ourselves, our well-being, our home and our family, and even our dreams. So those are some things to think about. And of course, as always, pull up your birth chart to see what house Cancer rules, to give you a little bit more specific details as to what the Cancer full moon is going to offer you and be for you. So trying to think of, we currently still have a Jupiter retrograde and we also have Uranus in retrograde too. So Jupiter is asking us the question of how can we expand our thoughts? How can we reconsider the communication in which we're sharing with ourselves and others in order to expand ourselves, because it is retrograde in the sign of Gemini. We also have Uranus currently in retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So we're also being asked to come outside of our comfort zone. So this is a major time of reflection. This is a time of reconsideration and reevaluation of oneself and also of your home and family in particular, because Cancer does rule the home and family. There's opportunities for embodying the mother within yourself, along with healing any mother wounds or healing any maternal wounds, or really just stepping into your maternal or matriarchal role as well. And I think that's really what this Cancer full moon is highlighting for us, is the role of the matriarchy going into the new year. Hello, Lavis. It's good to see you. Hello, Wildman Willie. It's also good to see you. So thinking about, what does the matriarchy look like for you? What does the matriarch, hello, Kelly. What does the matriarch look like for your family? Are you the matriarchal person? Are you the one stepping into that matriarchal role? Because that, I think, is what this full moon is really going to be asking us, is how can we nurture ourselves? How can we embody and call upon the divine feminine energy or essence? Hello, Kayla. No, I don't think you did hear me because I didn't have my mic turned on. Hello, it's so good to see you. Wow, so many people on here today. It's so good to see you, Will, or Bill. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one you like going by. But as I was saying, like, what is the role of the matriarchy in your family? What is the role that you play within your family? Are you being asked to step into that role? Because as we are entering and continuing the beginning of the age of Aquarius, there is going to be a flip and a switch as to the patriarchy going and moving into the matriarchy. And it's not going to go without a fight. Like, we already know that, right? So how can you allow yourself to be nurtured and to nurture yourself into that role, or nurture others out of that role as well? So there's a couple of different things that are coming up. But again, look at where Cancer sits in your birth chart, what house it rules, to give you a little bit more cues and clues as to what this Cancer full moon is going to offer you. Some of the things that also have been coming up for this Cancer full moon is spending time with your loved ones, spending time with your soul family in particular. You know, your soul family is not necessarily your blood family. So this might be a time of reconnecting with those you haven't seen in a long time. Like over the weekend, I had the pleasure of getting together with somebody that I hadn't seen literally in 2 years. And it was just such a beautiful, refreshing time to be able to have that time to spend together and to meet new friends simultaneously. And also, when we met, it was during Cancer season, and it was during the summer solstice. It was at Electric Forest is when we met. So there might be some people resurfacing for you in your life that maybe you had met in a Cancer season in the past, or maybe are going to be a part of this next Cancer season coming up ahead. Hey Sarah, so good to see you. So lots of mothering energy, lots of nurturing energy. And lots of energy of like purging, like I was saying too. Like, we are being asked to release. We are being asked to let go, because we are getting ready. Like I said, things are getting ready to switch drastically in the world, and in the United States specifically. We have been experiencing these LA fires, which my heart and soul goes out to all of those who have been affected. And continue to please offer your prayers and your thoughts and your intentions and well wishes towards those who have been affected, because this is going to be something that's going to take some time to recover. This is the time where we need to show up and nurture our communities. And that's another theme, is communities. What is your role in community? Not just within your family, but within your community. And how can you be a leader or nurture your community? And also, how can your community nurture you? Do you feel like you need some extra love and attention? If so, ask. Put it out there. And we are still in Capricorn season too. So some of these things that might be coming up too might be in reflection of our long-term goals. You know, for myself, my long-term goal is eventually to become a mother. And I've definitely been feeling and experiencing things in my life that are making the path in order to make that happen. Hey, Erin, so good to see you. So just thinking about those long-term goals and how you can nurture those long-term goals, especially the ones that you set on the Capricorn new moon that we had in 2024, like literally right before the new year. And I say new year because to me, the new year technically isn't until the spring equinox, but you know, to each their own. Celebrate whatever feels right for you. So like I said, we got lots going on, but I feel like we're all here and we're prepped and we're ready for the reading. So I want to show you what I have on the table today, and then we are going to dive in and see what magic and medicine we have for this Cancer full moon. So today I have my I See spell candle to help us tap more into our intuitive abilities. Since Cancer is a water sign, she's very intuitive, she's very in tune and in flow with the womb space too, because that is the Cancer rules the breast and it also rules the womb space. So tuning into those intuitive nudges. And so this is going to help amplify that. We also, speaking of the womb, we have my womb magic oil, which I'm currently out of stock on my website, but I'll be restocking this hopefully very soon. But we'll be using this today too. And then we also have the Cancer full moon from last year, because I'm making a fresh brew tonight. And this comes with the mantra, my home is my sanctuary, which, by the way, I am doing the home cleansing class online via the virtual dream space on Zoom this Thursday and Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Part 1 is how to energetically cleanse your own home, and part 2 is how to energetically cleanse other people's spaces. You have the option to take both classes, or you can do part 1 only if you just want to know how to do your own home, or you can do part 2 only if you've previously taken part 1 with me at Dark to Light or Moonlit Mystic last year. Hello, Mahana Bright, so good to see you. Kelly says you took it, it's amazing. Yes, it is amazing, and it's truly like revolutionary. Like, it's such a, it changes how you see yourself, it changes how you see your home, and I really recommend cleansing yourself and your home this time, this week, because this full moon is like literally perfect for cleansing your home. Actually, I took a really long bath because my body had been purging, and I was like, I need a salt bath, I need a cleanse before I do this live. And so we also have my Mother's Tarot, which we'll be using here today. We have my Spirit de la Lune moon deck that we'll be using as well. Everyone loves the Barbie divination, so we'll be doing this today too. And then we also have my crystals on the table, which I haven't used in quite some time with y'all, so we'll be using this today too. And then I have to have like a separate table because I'm in a new setup. I have my mugwort, a mugwort bundle that I made. Mugwort is really good to help us tap into our intuitive abilities, to help us heighten our dreams, to really lucid dream, to be able to receive messages in our dream spaces. With this being winter season and Cancer can be very dreamy, and winter is a time of rest and replenishment, reflection, journeying, and dreaming. So we're going to be using that to help us tune in. We also have my rainbow peacock feathers that we'll also be using. We have my sacral chakra sound bowl that we'll also be using today too. We have my 2 Sleeping Bear sand dune stones that we'll also be using in the cleanse today too. And then last but not least, we have my conch shell trumpet that we'll be using today as well. So I think it's time to go ahead and open up the space and call in the elements, and I'll be doing it with this today, really embodying that water energy. So go ahead and let's take a deep breath in together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now I'm going to say I can't do the actual trumpet sound, so I kind of mimic the sound. I've been practicing. It's not as easy as you think. If you know how to play a trumpet though, then you could probably do this, but this does take some skill that I'm still working on. Okay, ready? Hail to the north, the element of earth, be here with us today. Hail to the east, the element of air, be here with us today. Hail to the south, the element of fire, be here with us today. Hail to the west, the element of water, be here with us today. Hail to above, to the universe, to the cosmos, and our star sisters, be here with us today. Hail to the ancestors, to below, and to those who walked here before us, be here with us today. And I call upon the elements, I call upon the universe, I call upon the cosmos, star sisters, and our ancestors to not only be here with us today, but to help me to deliver this message clearly and concisely for the collective on this Cancer full moon. May you give me the guidance, the messages with clarity, truth, and love to be able to deliver it for those who are present now or later. So Jopipi. Hey Kelsey, good to see you. You just came in right on time. All right, so, man, I'm already sweating. I know that the energy is running hot when the energy is here. So let's go ahead and light our icy spell candle, which this is in my shop. And to kind of be a little different, I'm going to go ahead and spray this now. We'll probably spray some later. My home is my sanctuary. 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 Has a very Christmassy, very cinnamon, very warming scent. So, all right. Let's see what we get today. Spirit guides, ancestors, star sisters, what do you have for us today for this Cancer full moon? What magic, what medicine wants to come through for the collective, those who are watching now or later, not all the cards, for this Cancer full moon? Thank you so much. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters. Hey, Jacqueline, so good to see you. What magic and medicine do we have for this Cancer full moon? Oh, okay, that's quite a lot. She got a lot to say today. Hold on, I'm gonna have to like grab these. Okay. All right, I guess we'll take them all. It's kind of a lot, but we'll take them all. Ooh, okay. I'm not mad about what actually came up, so that's great to see. All right, let's see what Barbie wants to say today. I love this, y'all, and so many people have really responded to this. So let's see what she has to say. What does the spirit of Barbie want to tell us for this Cancer full moon? Okay. Ooh. Okay, got some fun ones. Even got something that I got for myself today. All right, spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters. What crystal wants to speak to us today for this Cancer full moon? Oh, beautiful. Okay. Perfect. It's like literally my electric forest stone. So I'm going to just start with that. We have fuchsite coming up to the table, and I always consider this like my party stone, my celebration stone, the stone that I think of when I go to electric forest. Like, you're there to go and have fun, to see people, to meet people, to engage in different arts and creative endeavors, to see some beautiful music, to dance, which Cancer does rule, by the way. So this is a great time to dance in order to move things and release. So we have that coming up. For Barbie, we have this TV tray, which is super cute. Then we have this hanger, which I personally got for myself today. And then we also have this rose flower crown, which I really enjoy. And then for our moon card, we got Dream. And then for our tarot, we got the Empress, followed by the Moon, followed by the Devil, followed by Temperance. And I just realized all of these cards, all four of these cards here, the tarot, are all major arcana cards. And there's only 22 in the entire tarot deck, and we have 4 out of 22 here right now. So like I was saying earlier, this is a pretty big moon, and this is also the first moon of 2025, of this new year. So we are really starting off with the bang. We are really starting off. And so really pay attention to what has come up for you, because it is going to be really relevant for the rest of the year, for those long-term dreams. As I was saying, we are still in Capricorn season. Capricorn is about taking the time to look at your long-term goals and creating plans and creating that foundation in order for those dreams to manifest themselves. And that's what we have here at the table with this dream card. So this dream card isn't just about pursuing your dream and nurturing your dream, but also paying attention to your dreams too. This is winter. As I said earlier, this is a time of dreaming. So this is a time of also prophecy. So you may be receiving messages in your dream space once you open yourself and you allow it to come through. And oftentimes dreams can really trigger and create things that maybe weren't on your radar. And it is a direct connection to the universe, to your spirit guides, and to your ancestors. So this is a time to dream. And traditionally, most people wouldn't say to use this moon to manifest. However, I really feel like, based off of what we're seeing here, this is a great moon to manifest. And to manifest with your feelings, and to manifest with your visualizations, with those dreams too. So if you don't already have a dream journal, I highly recommend having one. It doesn't need to be super fancy and you don't need to be super detailed. I'm a daily dreamer. My average daily log is about 5 pages. You don't need to go that far if you don't want to. It can just be like, this is what I dreamt about. It could be a list, really just make it your own. So it's something that's memorable and something that you can come back to later on, because we are all receiving messages in our dream spaces right now that are going to help us moving forward and help us with what we're releasing and letting go now. I love that this came up, and I love that we have the mugwort on the table. So lots of that dreaming energy. So this is awesome. Then we also, with this TV tray here, this is making me think of like, what foods are you nourishing yourself with? This might be a time where some of us might feel the call to adjust your diet, to adjust your daily habits. Capricorn, while it's not like a daily routine sign, it does do well with structure. So what kind of structured foundation do you have when it comes to eating and comes to your food? Are you eating good food? Are you making sure you're taking care of your body? Do you have no energy? And is it because of the food that you're eating or not eating? Because it could be, maybe we need to add a little bit of a supplement. Maybe we need to take away a supplement. Traditionally the doctors tell you to take vitamin D. And for me, I've learned that I can't do vitamin D because it breaks me out. It's too much testosterone for my body. So I have to find other ways to make sure that I'm getting myself enough nourishment and enough vitamins so my body is in a balanced state. And so this is a good time to really ask yourself, what's your daily diet? And diet isn't just food. It's also like the things that you're replenishing your energy with. So what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are the people around you? Like, what are you feeding your energy with? And what are you feeding that is good for you and feeding that isn't good for you? How much are you indulging? Are you indulging too much? Or are you not indulging enough? Because we do need to have a balance, right? This isn't to say like you can never have and enjoy like the sweets of life, but maybe we're overindulging and maybe we need to like kind of course correct ourselves in order to maintain our energy, especially if we're building something for the long run, for the long term, for our dreams to manifest, right? And maybe that's one of the dreams, is like having a good, well-nourished body. So I think this is really asking us to really evaluate that. And like I was telling you, my body's purging. So I know like some of the foods that I've eaten have kind of promoted that purge. And so this could be a great time for a detox as well. So if you've been feeling the need to detox your body or go on a cleanse, this would be a good moon to do so. We also have this hanger. So what I really like about this hanger, the first thing that comes to mind when I see this is, what do you need to hang up? What do you need to put away? Like, whether this be your actual clothes, or maybe it's something that you've been doing that just isn't working anymore. Maybe it's a thought that isn't working anymore. Maybe it's a habit that isn't working anymore. Maybe it's going out after a certain point, or maybe it's waking up at a certain time, or maybe it's going to bed. Like, there's something that we need to put away. There's something we need to hang up. And the hanging up could mean a couple of different things, meaning like it needs to be put away for a while. So this could be like, if we haven't already brought out our winter clothes, putting away our spring clothes and hanging up our winter clothes, because winter is here now. But it can also be like, maybe we need to hang up the things that you have accomplishment, like not one words. Maybe you need to hang up the things you have accomplished. So for example, I recently found some certificates of mine that I've had for years, but I haven't hung up. And in order to nourish my dreams and in order to nourish where I want to go and grow, it might be a nice reminder to literally put them in a frame and hang them up so I can see and show myself that I have been moving in the direction that I wanted to. Because sometimes we do need that visual reminder that you have been moving forward on the path that you are wanting to go on. And sometimes it takes time. And that's the thing about Capricorn season and Capricorn energy in general. It takes time. Slow and steady wins the race. This is not going to be something that's going to be built overnight, because it won't be sustainable if it is. So this is about hanging up those old things that need to be put away, or hanging up those things that need to be seen, so you can continue to have that inspiration for yourself to keep moving forward in the direction that you are moving in. I really like this. So like, what do you need to hang up? Like literally. And this could just be like taking care of your clothes. I have a clothes mountain that I need to take care of. So this could literally just be something as simple as hanging up your clothes, putting things away, because your home and your space and you will just feel better and more relaxed if you do so. And then with this flower crown, I love that we have this here. So this flower crown, it makes me think of, how are you celebrating your beauty? How are you honoring your femininity? How are you taking time to create something? Always a closed mountain, love that term. It literally is. It's coined by my husband, by the way. Anytime we do laundry, he goes, well, here is the start of closed mountain. And it's always my clothes. It's never his clothes. Because I always have multiple pieces that I wear at a time. So, taking time to do that, but also taking time to evaluate, like, and look at your beauty. How beautiful are you? Look at the beautiful things about you, the beautiful things that you've accomplished towards your dreams, towards your goals, towards your manifestations. This is a great time. Cancer is all about self-care. It's all about self-care. So this is a time where we might be feeling the need to be a little bit more cozy, to cancel plans, and to just stay at home under a nice, warm, cozy blanket with a nice hot cup of tea and just practicing self-care. You have so many clothes to purge, and you have a clothes mountain that you need to purge. Feeling so called out. I'm with you. Actually, I'm going to an event called Revamp Detroit. It's on January 25th. That'll be at Big Pink Detroit, and it is basically a space where you can bring in as many clothes as you like, and then you can fill a bag for $20 with all the clothes that they have there. And the clothes that don't get purchased by any of our participants are going to get donated to local Detroit charities, so like directly to families and not directly to like thrift stores, because the thrift stores are a little bit overwhelmed, I think, in terms of clothes. So it's a fun event, and it's a good way to like purge some clothes, but also bring in some new things that are calling to you. Because I know for me, as a Libra sun, I get over my wardrobe very quickly, and I'm definitely feeling that. So this is a great time to purge your clothes. Like literally, we have the hanger here too. So purging the things that no longer make us feel beautiful, that no longer make us feel good anymore, that maybe aren't in alignment with like who we are and who we're becoming. This also makes me think of, again, like just taking time for self-care. I literally just took a rose bath. So, and these have little roses here. So how are you accentuating your own beauty? Are you telling yourself you're beautiful? Are you showing yourself how beautiful you are? And what is a beauty routine? Do you have a beauty routine? Do you have something that you can do every single day and night that's going to remind you of your beauty? And that's going to remind you that you have to take care of yourself. Because again, like I said, Cancer is all about self-care. So if we take that time to nurture and nourish our body with good food, good energy, good people, good vibes, and then we take care of our beauty and take care of our regimen and take care of our bodies, that alone will help purge energy and open up and make space for the things that you are wanting to call in. So I love that so far. And we're just getting started. Hello, and botanicals, so good to see you. We haven't even hit the majors yet, so I feel like I gotta adjust myself for this next part. Okay, so I'm going to kind of read it as it came out. So we had the Empress that came up first. So the Empress is the mother. She is the matriarch. So again, going back into what I was saying earlier, we are welcoming the role. We are welcoming the collective matriarchy. And so in that is the beginning of the fall of the patriarchy, which we've been seeing. And we've been talking about it, and we've been witnessing it on TV and through various other things. The lack of nurturing, the lack of caring for one another, the lack of community for one another. So we're beginning to see and welcome in that matriarchal position, and we're seeing the patriarchal die. But again, it's not going to go without a fight. And so this is a time to nurture that part of yourself, nurture that feminine part of yourself, and to nurture those around you who are in need. Of course, as always, make sure that you take care of yourself first before helping others. It's like when you go on an airplane, put on your air mask first before you put on others. Hello, lovely is cool. Good to see you. So just keeping that in mind, helping yourself first before you help others, because if you have no energy if you put on all your energy pouring into others and you don't make any time for yourself, you're not going to feel nourished. You're not going to feel at your best. You're not going to feel like you're having fun. There has to be a balance. So making sure that you're making time for yourself. And the Empress too, she does not chase, she attracts. Her energy and her beauty is like the rose. She naturally will attract the bees just by existing. So there's also this call of less is more. There's this call of like looking at your day-to-day life, your day-to-day routine, and asking yourself, what can you put away in order to give more time for yourself to just be? And that's a part of and calling in that matriarchal role, calling in that matriarchal collective consciousness that we are entering into. So, and again, like I was saying too, some of us might be feeling called to step in our mother roles or step into a mother role or into a nurturing role. But this also is telling us again that rest is also imperative and it's important, especially because it is winter. This is the time to rest. And this is the time to dream and visualize those goals so then when spring comes, we'll have the energy to take action towards those goals. And it could just be maybe those small little things that you do today will help build that foundation to take the big steps and the big actionable things later in the springtime. It's really also about conserving our energy and knowing when to move and when not to move. Then we have the moon. We literally have the moon card. I love that. So the moon, literally embodying and embracing our intuitive abilities. That's also the Empress energy, right? What is your intuition telling you? Are you following through with your intuition or are you ignoring it? Because this is the time where our intuitive abilities are going to be a little bit more heightened than they maybe otherwise would. So listen and pay attention to what they're telling you, what your intuition is telling you. If your intuition is saying, hey, cancel plans today so you can rest, then follow through because you will be more grateful that you did later because you'll have more energy. Or maybe your intuition is saying, hey, actually, you know what? Go out with your people and see those like-minded people that you haven't seen in some time because it will be really nourishing for your soul. Or your intuition might be telling you, hey, this isn't a habit that's good for you anymore. You need to let it go. And even if it might be challenging and even if it might be hard, we have to trust those intuitive abilities or intuitive hints and feelings because it's doing it for a reason. Oftentimes it's doing to either prepare you for something beautiful or to protect you. If something don't feel right, it's because it ain't right. Period. Like, and if something feels good, and everything else is showing you that it's good, then it's good. You can trust it. So I feel like we're really being asked to really trust our intuition, especially as we are entering a very new era where truth and information is going to be very manipulated. And we're going to really have to rely on our own intuitive abilities and our own intuition to discern what is true for us and what isn't true for us. That's a really big one. Like, I can't tell you how much I've been seeing in my dreams, how much manipulation through technology, through the news, through tragedy, that there's going to be pushed towards us, and we're already experiencing it. And we're gonna have to rely on our intuition. Somebody's truth might not be your truth, and that's okay. But you have to rely on your intuition because it's going to guide you in the right space with the right people at the right time. Almost feel like, hold on, I got to adjust myself for this next one. I was feeling the pajama vibes today, but like the glamorous pajama vibes today, so I hope you don't mind my fit here. So the next card we have is the Devil. So like I was saying, this is about recognizing those toxic habits, those toxic thoughts, toxic places, people, or things, or foods that we are engaging in that are not serving us and are actually holding us back. And it could be things like, for example, my husband recently felt this huge call to completely stop smoking cannabis after 20 years of doing so because his spirit kept telling him it was preventing him from being able to really engage with his intuition. And he listened and he's been following through, and it's been an experience. It's definitely had some cons after 20 years of letting go of something, but it's also at the right time with the right place, and it feels good. And now he's been able to let go of something that has actually holding him back in order to be able to grow and move forward. And the thing about that for him is that was something that it wasn't necessarily bad. He wasn't in a space where it was like, it just, his body and his mind was like, we don't need this anymore. It served its purpose. And it's something that he loved and was something that he tied to his identity. But he has now changed and he's becoming a new person. And so it took blind trust and faith, that letting go of something that we love, even though it might have been really like kind of not the best relationship, to really let it go in order to make space for what wants to come through for him. And he's been able to dream more, which is not something that he's been able to do for the last 20 years. And so that's just an example of us really being called out. Like, if you feel like you're being called out for this full moon, you probably are. And so like, take it, receive it, forgive yourself, right? Everything, yeah, definitely feeling that part of reevaluating habits. Absolutely. Like, this is a great time to reevaluate those habits. And if you are being called out, if you are, like I said, take it and receive it, give yourself love. And one thing that's helped me, especially when it comes in terms of habits or thoughts or like toxic thoughts, like how much are those bad negative thoughts? Because we have negative thoughts all the time, but how much are you fueling those negative thoughts? And like giving yourself a moment to be like, okay, you know what? I was fueling this, or I was pursuing this because it did serve a purpose at one point or another. But now I no longer need it. Now it's something that I've become attached to and codependent on that actually isn't helping me, and it actually isn't serving me at this point. And that can be a hard thing to swallow. That can be a hard truth to really sit with. But this is something that we really need to ask ourselves, like, what are we hanging on to like so tightly that's actually controlling us and not allowing us to be in this free-flowing, loving, calm, nurturing, attractive energy. Kelsey says, you'll be 2 weeks sober tomorrow. This new year told me that drinking was taking up too much space and you already feel such a positive shift. Congratulations! That's huge. I know that that's a big one for a lot of people. So congratulations. I really applaud you for that. And keep moving forward and know that there are great rewards for choosing yourself. Then we have Temperance. Oh, Temperance. Temperance is one of those cards that I think people either really love it or they really hate it. And it's not a bad card, but it is a card of extreme patience. So even if we do, when we do, let go of these things, there might be this restlessness of, okay, give me the final result. Give me the thing that you said that I was going to get. Intuition, you wanted me to do this? Okay. And this was the reason why. All right, so where is it? That's not quite what Temperance wants to offer. Temperance is like, yes, but wait. The divine timing and maybe even divine location is at play. And that there's things that are happening behind the scenes, that are things that are happening deep within yourself that need to occur in order for the things to unfold in the way that you know they're meant to unfold. And this could also mean your dreams. Maybe there's been a long time dream that we've been really holding on to and seeing and visualizing, and we're just like, hello, where is it? I'm doing all the things. I'm taking care of myself. I'm letting go of stuff. I'm allowing myself to rest. I'm attracting. So like, why isn't it here? Temperance is like, hold up. It's coming, but not on your time. It's coming on divine timing, and it's coming on our time, because there needs to be certain things that need to align in order for these right things or these dreams that you have to really manifest themselves in the way that not only you dream, but oftentimes better than what you dreamed and dreamt of. Temperance is also about alchemy. So it's also about taking the negative and creating it into something beautiful. So for example, there's a lot of tragedy and suffering and a lot of pain and sadness that I think many of us are experiencing because of worldly and global events. And so how are you taking that and transmuting that into something that's beautiful, that's artistic, that's creative, that's moving and soulful? You like temperance because you feel supported, but patience. Yes, yes. And temperance is that support. It's like, yes, we got you. But it's like, we're not asking you to like bounce and do all the things. We're asking you to let us hold you so you can rest. To let us hold you so you can catch up with yourself, so you can integrate this new person that you're becoming, this newer version of yourself that you have stepped into. And it is, I want to say it's 5:36, so the full moon has been at its peak for the last 10 minutes now, y'all. So happy Cancer full moon. But this, again, it's like that support, it's the patience, but it's also alchemy. So understanding that by being in this flow state, by being in this void space, that there's going to be things that aren't going to necessarily come up immediately, but it's preparing that foundation for those dreams to come up later. And it's going to be really beautiful. And I just want to share this. Our candle, y'all, is going crazy. Normally, it wouldn't be at this point until like the Limpias. So like it's really burning. Like there's a heavy emphasis on trusting in your intuition, heightening your intuitive ability. So this is a good time too. If you don't practice divination yourself, I really recommend tapping into it, because there might be something there for you. And then we briefly touched on fuchsite, but I feel like I want to touch on it a little bit more. So fuchsite, like I was saying earlier, it's my party stone. It's my celebration stone. This is the stone that I think of when going to like electric forest. Like it's a whole venture. It's a whole journey. And if anybody's ever been to a music festival, you know what I mean. Like, you know, you know the experience. But when you go to a place like this, when you go to forest, it truly is a journey. And you will not leave the same. But at the same time, you're going to be having fun while doing so. There might be some really high highs and some really low lows, but they all will balance themselves out together, and you'll create this perfect harmony and balance and alchemy from that experience, and it's going to shape you into this newer version of yourself that maybe you weren't aware of. And that's kind of the other energy that I get to with this Cancer full moon being at 23 degrees. It is highlighting the Aquarian energy, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is currently in retrograde, as I said earlier. So there might be a sudden epiphany or a sudden realization about yourself that maybe you hadn't seen before until a certain event or person maybe brought it up or mentioned it to you. So be on the lookout for a sudden enlightenment or a sudden epiphany, and it could very likely come through the dream space too. I'm just like, wow, this is a huge moon. I knew that this was going to be a big deal, but like I'm now really seeing how big of a moon this is. And this is one of my personal favorite moons. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so Cancer is in its home sign. So the other thing with this moon card too is like we're really feeling the energies of the moon. Like the moon herself is really heightened. So this could be a really great time too, after this live, to go and do some research about the moon. Do some research about how the moon affects us. We know that the moon affects the tides. We also know that it has an effect on the gravitational pull. We also know too that the full moons will, because of that gravitational pull, that has that gravitational pull of water within ourselves, and it does heighten those intuitive abilities, but it also brings things out from the depths that maybe we weren't aware of that we need to deal with. Hence why there's often a lot of accidents. The hospitals are typically flooded. There's often a lot of like babies that are also being born too. So this is also a time too where a lot of babies might be being birthed or conceived, depending on what side of the spectrum you might be on. And so we also have the Three of Swords underneath. So I think part of the devil is highlighting those old wounds, are those old narratives that we've had because of old wounds. It's time to let it go. It might be painful. And think about this. Sometimes certain narratives that have come from wounding, it might have us, hold on, I'm trying to think of like how I want to like say this that makes sense. Sometimes when we're healing from trauma, when we are communicating the trauma that we endured and how we've healed from it, what is the language that you're using around it? Are you using language as if you're still healing from it? Or are you using language as if it's still happening? Or you have healed from it? Because sometimes we can end up perpetuating old trauma because of the language that we're choosing to use when we're talking about it within ourselves and perhaps with others. Now, this doesn't say to like dismiss your trauma. This doesn't say to dismiss those wounds and to not put a light that like, yeah, these things hurt you and these things were here, but how are you holding yourself back because of the language that you've chosen or not chosen around said trauma? I think it's not dismissing the trauma. That's not what I'm saying. But it's about the language in which you're using. Are you healing that trauma, or are you just continuing to perpetuate it based off of the words that you are choosing to use within yourself or when you're sharing it with others? So that's like a big one that I'm hearing. And then underneath the moon deck, we have rebirth. So like I said, this is traditionally the blood moon is typically around like Halloween time, so October, Samhain, but we're having this now. So we are being asked to rebirth ourselves. And as Cancer is the mother, and like I was just saying a minute ago, full moons do bring babies. And so with Cancer being in her home sign, with her being the mother, with the mother and the moon showing up, in a way, we are the baby too. We are the baby being born, but being reborn. We are being rebirthed into this newer version of ourselves that is going to be needed for this next era of our lives and for the next era in preparing and creating the matriarchy in our society and within our communities. She came in hot. I feel like I want to pull one other moon card and then we'll go into the Limpias. Let's see. Any last minute messages that, okay. That was, yeah, one more. Look at that. We have Capricorn underneath the deck here. So, and we're in Capricorn season 2. So that's really great. Also, this is super random. So I burned a pick-me-up spell candle for myself because I felt like my energy was kind of not at its best. Part of it's because of my food that I have or haven't been eating. And I just have been tasting coffee this entire time. I taste coffee and my candle has coffee in it. But anyway, we also have the super moon that came up with the wild card. So when this card comes up, this is a card of anything can happen at any point in time and to be open to it. So like I was saying, with this Uranian degree at 23 degrees, emphasizing that Aquarian energy, we're getting ready to step into Aquarius energy. Whatever might come up for you now might not be something that's on your radar, but will benefit you in Aquarius season and into the year ahead. And when this wild card comes up too, this also makes me think of like, have fun. Like, allow yourself to have fun. And maybe what you used to do for fun just isn't serving you anymore. So now you're having to kind of shift it up a little bit and get a little wild about it and do things that are maybe not usual for you, but could be fun and good for you, if that makes sense. So this is a very powerful moon, and our candle's like basically done at this point, which is insane. This like hardly ever happens. Most of the time it gets to this point, like I said, after the Limpias. So the fact that it's here now just shares, yeah, that's so cool. Yes, Kelsey says finding fun in new. Yeah, because we are being asked to come outside of our comfort zones, which Cancer loves the comfort. There was something that I think my friend Chelsea shared, and it was about how they had hermit crabs that would come in community, and they would wait for the right crab to let go of the right shell, that they wouldn't force themselves in a shell that was too small or too big, and they would rather have the patience and wait for the right shell to come in into their new home and space. So they would sit in the uncomfortable shell that they were currently in, waiting for the right thing, for the right shell to come through for them to be able to move into that space. So sometimes, and I think what this is asking us, we might have to sit in the uncomfortability of things not happening at our time and in our way for a little bit, so the right thing in the right time can come through. Because if you try to force it, like if that crab were to move into a house or a shell that would be too big, then it would be too much for it to carry and it couldn't sustain it. Or if it were to try to move into a shell that's too small, then it can't grow, and it's clearly going to be even more uncomfortable, but for the wrong reasons. So we are being asked to find comfort in the uncomfortable, but make ourselves comfortable at the same time. And we can make ourselves comfortable by helping our body, by nourishing our body, by taking care of our body, by getting some rest, by sleeping as much as we can, even though there might be things around us that we can't control. And typically this is a card too that's like, things are out of your control, so have fun. You know, sometimes like things not being in your control actually can be a lot of fun, because again, you can open yourself up to things that weren't on your radar that can actually be really good for you. So I feel good about the reading. I would love to hear your reflections for a minute. And at any point in time, if anyone wants to tip me for this reading or for the Limpias, I've left all of my stuff in the pinned comment section too. But I'm going to take some water while I listen to some of your reflections, if anyone has any reflections that they like to share. Oh, wow. I was so thirsty. This is a good moon to also just make sure you're drinking enough water. You might feel like you need more water than usual. So again, just pay attention to your body. Okay, so I don't feel like, it doesn't look like anyone has anything to share, which is okay. So I would like to get into the Limpias, and then we can open up the space so we can do some readings, one-on-one readings for y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna move some things up here. Thank you. I loved what you said about the Three of Swords. It's so true, and it's so impromptu how we talked about those old wounds. Yeah, I know those old wounds can be hard to move away from, especially because we can become comfortable in the old wounds because it served a part of our identity at that time and even up until that point. Like, I know for me, I really need to let go of my injury that I had in 2023 because it's not helping me move forward in the way I need to. Mama says, in the cards you see the need to heal from the feminine being suppressed and demonized throughout history, to feel and to know beyond all the damage and scar tissue and trust ourselves. Yes, absolutely. Healing from being suppressed and healing from being demonized, healing from being told that we can't be a certain way because the patriarchy wants to control and wants to make us constantly consume or make us constantly be in fear or worry about what is next, versus just trusting that it's going to happen and trusting that we can allow ourselves to express in the way we desire and works for us, not how everyone else wants us to be. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. All right. Are we ready? I'm going to actually light this from the candle. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I want to just open up, crack my window a little bit. Okay. That way the energy is moving out. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to do this 3 times. Ready? In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. This one we're going to do a little bit slower. So we're going to breathe in, and then out through the mouth. Beautiful. Go ahead and sit and enjoy this mini little Limpias. Ready? I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth for it to be healed. Ah, ah, I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth so it can be healed. Ah, ah, I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth for it to be healed. Ah, ah. You cleanse and release anything that's preventing you from dreaming. You cleanse and release anything that's not helping you connect to your intuition. We encourage that you follow through with what your intuitive abilities are communicating to you, encouraging dreams and visualizations. We release what doesn't serve the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul as we rebirth ourselves into this newer version that we are becoming. And we let go of any doubts, any fear, any shame, old wounds, old identities, habits, thoughts, foods, people, places, or things. And we let it go with love, compassion, and grace. May we make the space for healing, forgiveness, and gratitude. May we trust our guts. May we trust our feelings. May we express our emotions. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel sad. And it's okay to feel happy. And everything in between. May we trust the mother within us. And may we embody the mother within us. May we heal any mother wounds or grandmother wounds. And may we not be afraid to step into our feminine energy, despite what the world around us tells us. May you give yourself permission to rest. May you give yourself permission to be. May you give yourself permission to exist. And knowing that that in itself is enough. I just want to send some Reiki for a minute. I call upon our healed feminine ancestors and star sisters to guide us moving forward, to help us heal these wounds, and to help nurture us when we need it, and to help nurture this new era we are beginning and stepping into. Thank you to the grandmothers. Thank you to Mother Earth and to the mothers. We receive your womb magic and your womb wisdom within our wombs. And know that we all have a womb, whether physical or energetic. May we trust those womb feelings. May we trust those gut feelings and release the emotions stagnant within our womb spaces or areas. And may we trust the wisdom and the magic that our own wombs carry, knowing that it has been passed down to us for generations. And remember, your body is your home, and your home is yourself. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home is your sanctuary. Bless you. Thank you. And so dope with me. Mwah. Hello, Victoria. Good to see you. So I would now like to take this opportunity, if anyone would like a individual card pull, go ahead and drop any emoji in the comment section, and I would love to pull some cards for you. And this motherwort has not stopped burning, y'all. So I'm so curious about how our dreams are going to be tonight. I'm going to put some things away while y'all drop some comments and some emojis. And if at any point in time, if anyone would like to tip me, I've left all of my information here for you. I'm just going to let this keep burning because it doesn't want to stop. Yes, you're so welcome for the Limpias. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me adjust my feeties. My feet are starting to fall asleep. Okay. All right. You did start a dream journal a few weeks ago. Awesome. I love that. Ooh, I'm so excited to see how that continues to unfold for you, Kelly. You're so welcome for the Reiki. Yes, I know. I don't know why I haven't been offering the Reiki before in these. Silly me. Okay. All right, Mavis, let's see what we get for you today. What wants to come through for this Cancer full moon for Mavis today? Okay. That was like a bloop. It's like how it came out, just a little bloop. All right, what wants to come through for Mavis today for this Cancer full moon? Okay. Oh, I love that. Okay, and then let's see what Barbie has for you for this Cancer full moon. Okay, oh, we got a couple of things. And then what Crystal wants to come through for Mavis for this Cancer full moon. Okay. All right. All right, girl. You got my go with the flow Barbie piece. Anytime this shell comes up, it always is about moving with the flow, moving in that flow state, being in that flow state because you are being gently guided somewhere. I also love that there's a shell here. So this again is making me think of the hermit crab analogy I was giving earlier. And this is about, I think, moving in the direction that feels the best for you, even if it doesn't logically make sense. And I say that because you kind of got two different cards here that seem contradictory, but they do make sense with each other. So you have the Five of Pentacles. Thank you so much, Erin, for the tip. I really appreciate it. You have the Five of Pentacles here, but then you also have the card Productivity. So you might be feeling like there's been some work and some things that you put time and energy into, and you've been very productive and busy, but perhaps it hasn't given you the results exactly as you wanted them. And so there's a feeling of feeling like we're in that, I almost kind of want to say drought, but almost feeling like there's a lack when there's so much there. I feel like you're being asked to kind of step into like a newer direction that maybe you haven't necessarily walked before, but once you get there and once you continuing putting the work in, especially come springtime, it's going to bring some prosperity and abundance through you. Trudging through it, and you call it. Yeah, you're kind of trudging through it. And maybe it almost kind of feels like we're moving through the motions, but maybe the inspiration isn't there like it once used to be. And so you're being asked to, you got the Barbie phone here, to not only move with the flow, but also call upon your ancestors and star sisters and call upon, the dream spirits. So like before you go to bed, specifically asking, what can I do to get me in the space that makes me feel abundant and productive in the way that works best for me? And, sometimes productivity is just resting. But I think for this, I feel like there's something where like we're moving, we're taking the motions, but something just isn't, it's not like working out in the way that we maybe thought it would. And that's because I think there's a new direction that you're kind of being asked to take. And it also just might mean like letting go of some things too in order to kind of feel more productive. Maybe this is about letting go of something or things that will make more space so we're not feeling this lack. And I feel like moving with the flow, like it's almost kind of feeling like taking some things off of your plate, even if it's just for a minute, because that might help clear up some space, some mental space for you to like plant those seeds so you can see how you can make them happen in the springtime. But then you also got lapis. So I feel like by taking some time off or taking some time to take a pause, you're going to be able to tap into some really old ancient knowledge and wisdom within yourself. And I feel like that's also what this phone is kind of representing. Like, who can you call upon? Your ancient ancestors and star sisters for guidance. Like, who are you calling on for guidance? Are you calling on your spirit team for guidance? Remember, we can't have them come in if we don't ask or give them permission or call upon them. You have to call them in. So I feel like you're being asked to like really surrender, call them in, let them guide you. It might not be exactly what you think it would be, but it's going to take you to the future where you're going to be really productive and you're going to have so much abundance. So I feel like there's a big change in the horizon for you. And I think a lot of it does have to deal with surrendering. And that way you're not feeling you're just like trudging through it. And sometimes we do have to trudge through it in order to like understand like what is it that we really want and what is it that we're really wanting to call in. Because maybe you have been calling in and you are receiving it, but maybe it's just not giving you what you hoped or thought it would give you. So I hope that that resonated for you, and thank you again for being here and supporting the dream, literally, and your dream. And I know you're going to be in our home cleansing class this week, so I'm looking forward to guiding you through that too, as it's truly a transformative class. So thank you again so much, and sending you so much love. Okay, so Mom, you are next. Let's see what wants to come through for you. What wants to come through? Okay, you got 2 cards immediately. All right. What else wants to come through for Mom? Okay. Ooh, okay. I don't even like get to finish asking the question. What else wants to come through for Mom? Okay. All right, Mom. So you got refine. So you're immediately from the beginning, you're being asked to refine your sense of balance because you have the 2 of Pentacles here. So as you can see in this card, they are balancing. It's almost like they have 3 legs trying to balance themselves, but also stay grounded and rooted at the same time. So I feel like you're being asked to refine how you're moving throughout your day and not putting so much on yourself to where you like get out of balance. And in this here, she's pregnant. So you are kind of creating something, especially with the Queen of Wands coming up. You are in the midst of nurturing and creating something that wants to be birthed, but we have to maintain our balance and our well-being in order to make sure that that birth, when that does come, that everything is in a good, solid state for it to come through, if that makes sense. And I also think with this, you have rhyolite coming up. There's some old energy specifically from your inner child, because we have these like child Barbie shoes that need to be addressed that might have made you feel like you were out of balance. So, for example, there might be some inner child wounds that you felt that you took in later in your life that created this imbalance. And this imbalance is being asked to rebalance itself. And in order to rebalance itself, we need to be able to go back and look at specifically what triggered it. But then at the same time, letting yourself know that like that story and that narrative is not the truth at this point in time for you anymore, because you can change that. And with Rhyolite, there's always this energy. This always gives me the vibe of like dinosaur eggs. So this might be something that's generational. And I know that there definitely is some generational healing in our family that we need to deal with, but there's definitely some generational things. So this might be also something too that has been passed on, and not necessarily something that just you experienced. And maybe even kind of looking at it that way, of seeing that like you're not the only one that had that experience, might be freeing and liberating, because now we know that this is something that this is like a generational thing that needs to be dealt with. And then I also get this feeling too of Queen of Wands to really tap into your creativity through engaging with the inner child. So what kind of things did you create when you were younger? What kind of things did you do for fun when you were younger? Because that might help redefine your balance and redefine how you kind of move and flow throughout the rest of your day to day and into the future of birthing this next thing that you have been preparing to birth, while still staying grounded. I also almost get this feeling of like just not putting too much on your plate at once, because then that will knock you off of your balance. So I hope that resonated for you, and thank you as always for being here, and I love you so much. Okay, let's go to the next person, Kelly. Let's see what we get for you, Kelly. Ooh, Kelly, I feel excited for you. I don't know, I just feel like something's like you started writing at 9. That's awesome, good. So that might be something to tap back into. Start writing. Start writing again, Mom. All right, Kelly, what do we got? Okay. I didn't even get to finish. Okay. All right, Kelly, what wants to come through for you? What wants to come through for Kelly? What wants to come through for Kelly? Okay. What wants to come through for Kelly? What wants to come through for Kelly? Ooh, okay. And then what wants to come through for Kelly? Okay. Ooh, interesting. I haven't seen a pair like this. Like, this has never paired up like this before. Okay, so your reading is kind of interesting, because I think it's like calling you out, but it's also got some like really fun things about it at the same time. So I'm just going to start with the cards. So the first card that you got was boundaries. And then the second card you got was the Four of Cups. So this pair is making me think about how maybe I almost feel like, have you had too many boundaries? Like, has there been so many boundaries that you have put up that you can't see the thing that is being offered to you that's like right in front of you? Because I know you know what Four of Cups means. So Four of Cups is, that card of like the universe is offering you something, but we're kind of in a space of like, meh, or like focused on like what we specifically wanted, but yet there's some other kind of offering that's being given to you, but we have to be open to it. And I almost feel for you're being asked to kind of adjust those boundaries. Like perhaps we're having too many boundaries with spirit that is preventing you from being able to receive that offering that it's trying to give you. And maybe those boundaries need to be repositioned towards maybe people, places, or things, or other ideas that you've had that are preventing you from being able to grab that thing that the universe is giving you in your hands. And you got silver leaf jasper. So there's definitely like a silver lining here to be had. So I almost feel like one of the things that I heard of is like having boundaries so you can have enough time to take care of yourself. Like, because I feel like you're always in a space where you're taking care of others or your business. Like, how much time do you have to like just take care of just you and not have to worry about those other things so those other things can come through for you? So I almost feel like there's like too many boundaries with spirit, but not enough boundaries with other people, places, and things. Thank you, Rosemary, for the tip. It really does mean a lot. Thank you, thank you. And I also get this fun energy because we got the boom box, which I don't think this has come out for anybody yet. And then we also got like this like DJ thing here. So this is giving me a couple of things. One, music is going to be really healing for you right now. And listening to music that makes you feel open in the sense like you feel like really grounded. It soothes you. It makes you feel good, but it also is like inspiring at the same time because maybe it's the inspiration that we have boundaries on, then that's preventing us from like grasping. And the other thing too that I'm getting is like spirit is giving you, you grew up in the 80s. Yeah, that's like great music. Oh my God, I love that. I feel like there is something musically being given to you. So I don't know if that means singing or including music in what you do, whether this be an offering that you do or something that you do just purely for yourself. But there's definitely something, because you got two music things back to back, about having music. Yeah, some sound healing. Like, have you considered doing sound healing? Have you considered what that would be like for you? It might be a little bit different. And maybe scary to some capacity because it is different, but there's something there for you that wants to come through about music. And it could be sound healing, especially think about like the world that we're in right now and the things that we're getting ready to go into in our collective. Music is so healing for the soul that people really could receive that, but also for yourself too. There's definitely this energy of like healing yourself with music, but there's definitely been too many boundaries with spirit. So like I feel like this has come up. This isn't the first time, but maybe this has come up for you. And so they're like kind of taking a minute to like, okay, fine, like this is what you're trying to tell me. So where do you want me to go with it, kind of thing. And maybe listening to music or doing like a daily song divination could help you understand like what spirit is trying to communicate with you. I know for me, a part of my daily divination is like a daily song divination every single day. So today I got Levitating by Dua Lipa, which is great because it's all about going to the moon. So it's literally perfect. So that might really help you. And I also say that too because underneath you got the Nine of Cups and expansion. So I feel like something with sound healing, something with music is going to help you expand your offerings, but also expand just you as a person and in your life. That there's going to be, you'll be able to grasp that thing that spirit's trying to give you. It's just maybe it's giving it to you in a way that maybe we weren't expecting it or wanting it. Because sometimes spirit's like, okay, we'll give you that. So for example, if it's like calling you more money and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to call in more money. And the spirit's like giving you the thing to call in more money. But it's like, but that's not what I wanted to do, to call in more money. Then we can block ourselves from that, right? And that's just an example. Or even if it's like moving or something, like, hey, I want to move or something. And spirit's like, okay, well, here's where we want you to move. And you're like, I don't know about that. Like sometimes it's hard, right? Because we have to kind of let go of what our own expectations and our own desires were and how we saw them in the first place. So I feel like there's something kind of happening with you, especially with that silver leaf jasper. Like you're being offered exactly what you want, but maybe not the way in which you thought. But that's not gonna not be it's not a bad thing. It's still gonna serve you and give you exactly what you needed and wanted, but just in like a different way. So I hope that resonated for you, and thank you so much for being present and for how occasionally it does that, and I have no idea how it does that. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope that resonated with you. You are amazing too. It's so good to hear from you and see you too, by the way. I can't wait to hear how things have been going for you. And actually, our candle just went out, which is perfect timing because we have one more person and then we are done. So we have Rosaray. We're going to be pulling for you. So let's see what we have for you today. All right, Rosaray, spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters, what wants to come through for Rosaray? What wants to come through for Rosaray for this Cancer full moon? Okay. What wants to come through for Rosaray for this Cancer full moon? Okay. At first I was like, this seems like too many cards, but it's not. I'm just going to put them in order. And what wants to come through for Rosaray for this Cancer full moon? Nice. Okay. All right, Rosaray. So what we got for you, thank you, Kelly, for the tip. Thank you so much for anyone who sent me a tip. It really does mean a lot. Thank you. Thank you. So Rosaray, you actually have the Nine of Cups come up to the surface. So this is a good time where those wishes that you've been putting in are going to be received. And I even say that too because you got the Magician here. So this full moon in particular is highlighting your own magnetism and your own ability to manifest and call in what you desire simply by feeling it. So your feelings are your key to your manifestation. So if you're feeling it and you feel good about it, it's going to come through really quickly for you. And I almost feel that you're being asked specifically to look at the words that you use to help you embody those feelings, because you have the card Connect with Gemini, the twins, and then you also have Reflect. So this is a couple of different things. So connecting to maybe siblings, connecting to people that you haven't connected to in a while. Gemini is all about communication and connecting with people, connecting with their loved ones, connecting on social media. Gemini also rules like social media as well. So how are you connecting with others by sharing your magic? And also, how are you being asked to reflect on what you've been sharing and who you've been sharing it with? And also, there's a lot of different things coming up for you. Being asked to, like, how is the language that you're using helping you or not helping you manifest the things that you wish for? I think that's the key one right there, is what language are you using or not using to help you manifest your dreams. So for example, every single day, I have a list in my notes of daily mantras. And some of these mantras are things that I'm currently calling in or working on. And I always state it as if I already have it, as if it's already happened. And every time I say a certain mantra, I take a moment to feel it. Like, what would it feel like for me to have this thing? What would it feel like for this thing to happen? Because those two words, the language and the feeling, are the kind of key to being that magician, right? Because the magician understands its tools that it has available to them, and it makes the best of it, and it creates an opportunity for those things to kind of harmonize and come together in order for it to be put out into the universe. So it's almost like the wand, right? What are you directing your energy towards? No, Annabelle. My cat is wanting these peacock feathers here. What are you directing your energy towards? And maybe that's what the reflect card is about, is what are you putting your energy towards? And how is it serving you or not serving you? And you have petrified wood coming up here. So being grounded in your own magician abilities. Do you see yourself as a magician? Do you see yourself as a manifester? Because everything here is telling me you are really good at it. And all it takes is just redefining the language that you're using and having that focus and feeling to really call it in. And then you also have this glove, which is like an evening glove. And then you also have these 80s sunglasses. So I almost feel like there's at the same time you're being asked to ground yourself and to keep yourself grounded, to call in these things, and to have some fun. Like, when's the last time you had fun? And I almost hear like something about traveling. There might be like a trip that you're wanting to plan, or a trip that you're calling in. And I think it does want to come through. It might take a little bit of time, and it might even manifest in Gemini season. But I get this feeling of like, one of the things that might also help you call in the things is how you utilize your expression, specifically with how you dress. So like, are the glasses or the sunglasses, like, think about it. When we see somebody in like wearing sunglasses, especially during the day, like, we automatically think, oh yeah, they're cool. Like, they think they're cool. They're embodying this like cool cat energy, right? And then when we have like really beautiful things that we're wearing on, it almost helps us embody that energy a little bit more. So I feel like you have a gift with attracting things by simply just dressing up and dressing as the part and as the thing or energy that you are wanting to embody and attract, if that makes sense. But I do feel like there's some kind of trip that wants to happen. I do feel like you are having your wishes come true, but I almost feel like you have to just trust yourself a little bit more with it coming through. I feel like you also have, that's not the right one, Pisces. So we're getting ready to have Pisces season here in a minute. So after Aquarius season, we'll have Pisces. So following those dreams, pursuing those dreams, trusting in your intuition. And then you have the World card, or the wheel of fortune. So fortune is in your favor, and fortune might be through visualizing it for you and dressing it, like quite literally dressing the way that you want to feel, and kind of reflecting on the language. How have you been nice to yourself? Or how haven't you been nice to yourself? And how is that stopping you from receiving what you want to receive? So I hope that that makes sense for you. I really like this as a last one, like just really tapping into your magic. You're a very magical person. And I think there's definitely something about how you dress will help call in more of what you're wanting to call in. So, and one thing too, if you're just even more curious, I don't know if you are aware of your birth chart, but they say to dress, and I've been experimenting this myself, and I've definitely seen a lot of good response in doing so. So they tell you, if you want to attract more money, to dress like your Venus. If you want to like pull more things, dress like your Venus sign. They also say to like do your makeup, or to dress like your rising. They also say to dress like the moon and Black Moon Lilith. So for me, I've been like, one is not enough. I gotta do a little bit of all. So by incorporating your daily outfit to resemble your Black Moon Lilith, your moon, your rising sign, and your Venus, that's like the quadruple feminine effect. You will not only be able to call in more things, you'll be more embodied of like who you came here to be. You'll attract more things, and you'll also be like that rebel that will be able to embody that dark goddess energy. So it's like embodying the light goddess and the dark goddess. I feel like we have to have the balance of both. So that might be something fun for you to look at and to do. And if you need any help with that, I can guide you a little bit. But I've been doing it, and let me tell you, it's made a huge difference in my life. So I hope that that resonated, and thank you so much for being here and for your presence. It does mean a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. So that's all we have for today, y'all. This was a really good live. I love this moon. It's my favorite moon. So I am going to close out the space. Our candle went out a little bit ago, which is insane because normally it's still going. So we did the thing, y'all. So thank you again so much. If you haven't already tipped me and would like to, I've left all of my stuff here in the pinned comment section. If you would like to take the home cleansing class, I have that going on this week via the virtual dream space on Zoom, and that will be this Thursday from 7 to 9, part 1, how to energetically cleanse your own home, and part 2, how to energetically cleanse somebody else's home. When doing part 2, you will get a certificate in completion from the Meaningful Dream School of Higher Consciousness. I do have some reading open, a reading availability on the 25th. I'm planning on some other things in the future, and also on the 31st of January, You'll see me before then. I'll be doing the Connect to Your Star Sisters class at Moonlit Mystic as well. So you're so welcome. So thank you again, and I'm going to close out the elements. So thank you, thank you. Hail to the north, and thank you for being here with us. Thank you to the element of earth for being here with us. Hail to the east, the element of air. Thank you for being here with us. Hail to the south, the element of fire. Thank you for being here with us. Hail to the east or the west, the element of water. Thank you for being here with us. Hail to above, to the universe, our star sisters in the cosmos. Thank you for being here with us. Hail to below, to our ancestors and those who walked here before us. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you to each and every person that was here today. I close the space with love and gratitude for each and every one of you. Thank you, bless you, and Sudoku be. All right, y'all. I'll see you for the Aquarius new moon on the 29th. Love you. Bye.